So this week I'm still coming to you from my in-laws' house. Our place isn't finished. They've put another extension in it, so we're not going to move in until the end of August now. So I have to slum it out here at the in-laws, which is not bad. I've shown you the video and the view from here before. It's absolutely gorgeous. And so I'm just hanging out in the backyard here after having had a day of coaching calls and, more importantly, a mastermind, the Platinum Mastermind call that we do. I do once a month with all my top tier coaching clients. And we had a topic that came up that I really wanted to share with you this week. And that was the conversation that every CPA should be having with their clients. And we had like newer members, and in these mastermind calls we have so we call it veteran accountant success formula members, and we've got newbies that are into the program. It works really well because the veterans that have been doing the program for a while, they understand it and they get to explain it to the newcomers. And so, as we know, you learn something better when you got to teach it to somebody else or when you explain it to somebody else. And so this conversation we had around today was around the conversation every CPA should have with their clients. And it's around the 4 planning pillars. And it was explained this way, and it's the way I explain it, but I heard it again from my veteran client explaining it to the newcomer clients, that if you do not know these 4 planning pillars, if you do not know your client's 4 planning pillars, how in the world can you do any kind of tax planning for them? How can you give them any advice whatsoever? It's like you're just shooting in the dark. How can you tell them how to compensate themselves out of their business? How should they be saving for retirement? And so you cannot do your job as a CPA, as a professional CPA, to give clients tax planning advice without knowing these 4 pillars. And so these 4 pillars are simply your business plan, your wealth plan, your retirement plan, and your estate plan. And so specifically, we're talking about business owners here. Now, if you're working with just individual clients, you could switch it and call it the income plan. So it's an income plan, wealth plan, retirement plan, estate plan. But in the accountant success formula, what I show professional CPA firms to do is getting away from doing personal taxes only. You want to be working with owner-manager businesses. That's where the real value can be extracted from there, because you get corporate structures set up and you've got businesses, you've got more revenue model to deal with and more wealth that you can handle. And so you want to be focusing on that. But you think about these 4 planning pillars. You have the conversation with the client about their business. Where's their business going? You talk about, well, from the business grows a bunch of income that they get to live on for their lifestyle, which then feeds into their wealth. How are they growing their wealth? We need to know, are they saving it in a holding company? Are they growing part of that wealth that's going to be in the business? Are they putting it into a tax-free savings account? Do they have a pension plan of some sort that they've set up through their business, right? And so from the retirement or from the wealth build naturally goes to, when are you going to retire? So you need to know how much wealth you need to grow to know when you're going to retire and how much income you're going to have for retirement. So there's a bunch of questions you want to ask them about the retirement plan and what that looks like. And then finally, the estate plan, which is when you pass away, which everybody's going to do, they're going to leave the planet. Who do you want to leave your wealth to? Is the next generation, your children? What are you going to do with your business? All the rest of that. But this is a really important thing for you to know. Unless you know those 4 plans that the client has and clearly understand where they're going with their life, what they want to build for themselves, how can you give them tax planning advice? It's impossible. So I preach this, and my apologies for being preachy, but it's so critical. It's so important. And when you have these conversations, and I do a template, an actual a 4 planning pillars template, which is, it shows you exactly what questions to ask the clients, and they're called a bunch of spur questions in there that gives them things for them to stop and go, oh my gosh, I never even thought about that. When you have that conversation with them, they will be amazed, because they'll be like, I've never had an accountant ask me that question before, and I'm so glad you did, because now it makes so much sense that what I've been doing in my business is not in alignment with how I'm building my wealth, because I want to retire at this date and I'm not building my wealth right. And the whole thing connects together. It all connects together. And when you have that conversation with the client, you position yourself as their number 1 trusted advisor. From that point forward, all sorts of wonderful things happen. And again, I won't go into detail on all the rest of that, but the number one most important conversation you need to have with your client is, what are their 4 planning pillars? So ultimately, what is the life that they're trying to build for themselves? And are these 4 planning pillars, are they supporting that lifestyle for them? And then as their number one trusted advisor, you can work with them and their other advisors, their lawyer, their financial advisor, their banker, their insurance person, to make sure that those 4 planning pillars are in alignment so that the client gets what they want. Because ultimately, that's what clients are looking for. They're looking for you to help them get to the destination. They're looking for you to help them build the life that they want for themselves, not just bang out a fucking tax return. Sorry, my apologies for swearing, but that's not what they want. They don't want just another tax return. They want you to help them build their life. So that's the thing that came up in the mastermind, and I really wanted to highlight it again. So that's the most important conversation you can have with your clients, is around the 4 planning pillars. Again, we've got the full methodology on how we do that in the Accountant Success Formula. So if you're interested in having a conversation with me, please reach out, let me know. I'd love to have a conversation with you to see if you're a fit for the program. So I'm Eric Solbakken, reminding you that when you take back control of your business model, you can take back control of your life. Stay tuned for more success tips to come.